All right, well, I have the excellent pleasure of sitting here with Travis Mills. We're in Mount Vernon, Maine. It's a beautiful day outside. Travis, thanks so much for sitting with me.
Thanks for having me. I tell you what, pretty cool. Not that this is probably gonna make the edit, but across the road, there's a house that is actually mimicked after Mount Vernon, George Washington's house.
Oh, no way.
Kind of crazy, right?
That is cool.
In Mount Vernon, yeah.
Yeah.
It's whatever. It's kind of fun. But thanks for being here today.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you taking time to talk with me. And, we're just going to have fun. So don't be nervous. You won't catch no arms, no legs. And let's get after it.
So, Travis, tell me a little bit about your background. Who are you? Where are we sitting right now?
Well, so my name's Travis. My mom and dad had 3 kids. I was the favorite, the front runner of champions of the 3 of us. And I grew up in Michigan. But I joined the military after trying college out, realizing I wasn't mature enough to go to college. And I went to the 82nd Airborne Division, did 3 deployments. Met my wife while I was in the military, had my first daughter. And then on my 3rd deployment, I got blown up by a bomb, unfortunately. I didn't even see it coming, believe it or not. And it resulted in me losing portions of both arms and both legs. So I'm a quadruple amputee. And during my recovery at Walter Reed, I was shown how to recalibrate myself, how to have my new normal, and how to live life again. And my wife and I decided to start a foundation. So we thought just care packages were what we were going to do. And then it kind of morphed into where we're at now, here at the Travis Mills Foundation Veterans Retreat. And we went ahead and brought some families out to show them how to do things adaptively. They've been through physical injuries due to service, which is a lot of words jumbled up, saying if they had an accident while in service, stateside or overseas, that resulted in something that was physically debilitating. We bring them out and show them how to do things adaptively with their families. Kayaking, ice fishing, regular fishing in the summertime, swimming, tubing, whatever. You name it, we try to do it. And, it's been a really fun, project as well as rewarding. And, it wasn't just about the service members. That's why we wanted to make it about the family. My wife, by my bedside, I told her she should leave me when I was injured. I didn't think I had anything left to offer her. And my daughter was 6 months old. And my wife stayed with me and was like, that's not how this works. And now, I tell people when they look around, you can sum this up to like just my daughter. I did this all because, my wife and my daughter were there for me. And I thought the power of being able to be active and realize that life goes on after injury and show people that we care about what they went through, but also that they don't need to live life on the sidelines. And it's been pretty awesome trip we've been on here.
And we're going to talk a little bit about the foundation more in depth later, but I want to talk about, why you joined the military again. I know you said you went to college and that didn't work out, but, why the Army? Why was that your choice?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was on, the sidelines in college football, realizing that I redshirted. That's why I didn't really get to play that much. But really, I needed to find something to do. The Army was a great option. I went and talked to all the branches, and they showed me an airborne infantry video, guys jumping out of airplanes, kicking bad guys in the face, and I was like, whoa, there it is. and I truly enjoyed it. I mean, I re-enlisted on my 2nd deployment to stay in longer. My wife understood that. It was our lifestyle, and we had a good time with it. So I guess the reason I joined the Army, my dad was in the Army. They showed me a great video, and there was also a $24,000 signing bonus. So that wasn't so bad. But nice. I had student debt to pay off.
Yeah. So you jumped out of airplanes and stuff?
Yeah, everybody thinks like, oh my gosh, you jumped out of airplanes. Why would you do that? And it's like, well, it's not that hard. It's all gravity based.
Yeah.
I guarantee you jump out, you're going to land. And people are always worried about that. Like, well, how'd you land? I'm like, on the ground. But then also, people are like, you jumped out of a perfectly good airplane? And I'm like, well, at least if I'm in a bad one, I know what to do now.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Preparation.
Yeah. My friend's trying to talk me into skydiving. So what's some advice for somebody who's trying to get into it?
Just do it. It's easy.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's just gravity. It'll take the wheel.
Fair enough.
But I've went skydiving twice since my injury.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Nice. So I wanted to ask you, because today we're filming on April 12th, 2023, and 2 days ago was the 11th anniversary of that day in Afghanistan. Does that day mean something for you still? What is that like?
So they call it your Alive Day. And I'll tell you, I hated my Alive Day because my birthday is actually in 2 days.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
Thank you. So my birthday's on the 14th. So I never I was always like, oh, my birthday, my Alive Day is really the 14th. And I would get kind of like, we're not going to celebrate. We're not going to talk about it. Not angry, but just like, nonchalant, don't worry about it. Yeah. But then like year 7 hit, year 8 hit. And I was like, man, I am so fortunate to still be here, and I started like actually enjoying my Live Day. Like, hey, look, I've made it through this horrific event. I've been able to give back to the community and start this foundation and also be a keynote speaker and do a lot of cool things. And then it just actually this year for the 11th one, it hit me as I took my daughter to school, right? And then I took my son to school, and then I picked my son up and went to the playground, went and had lunch. My wife and I, went to dinner and stuff, and I said, I would miss out on so much if I didn't have an alive day. Like if I would have just died that day. 9 doctors and 7 nurses worked on me for like 14 hours straight. And I was given over 400 units of blood, which is the most blood ever given to anybody at the time. And if they would have just been like, we're gonna loosen this tourniquet, we'll let him fade out in 2 minutes, we'll call it a day, I wouldn't have an alive day. So I kind of went from like, this is dumb, I don't want to celebrate this day, to it's awesome that I'm able to still be here. My son's 5, and he wouldn't be alive if I wasn't, here. So just kind of like more of that kind of feeling towards it now. So it's, I don't know, I just celebrate my birthday. Live days are cool and everything like that, but I don't make a big deal out of it.
Nice.
Last year they did last year because of my 10-year anniversary, and we filmed a documentary with HBO Max and Discovery Plus. Well, with Magnolia Network, but it's on HBO Max. It's called Hi, I'm Travis. But they made a big deal about the 10th, which is cool. But
tell me about your recovery process. I guess let's start with on that day, because you had your unit with you, right? It's your third tour, is that right?
Yeah, it's my third tour.
Yeah.
Most action I had seen, actually. Like we were mixing it up every day with the Taliban, if you will. And I got hit. Immediately my right arm, right leg were gone. I was thrown on the left side of my face. I rolled over my back to see the aftermath, and my left leg was snapped to the bone. So if you imagine your ankle bone touching your thigh, actually.
Wow.
Kind of gruesome, I know, sorry. And then also my left arm was blown out the wrist, but I still had use of my thumb, index, and middle finger. So I hit the ground, rolled over, I saw all this, and within seconds, my medic and my platoon sergeant were like on me, putting tourniquets on me.
Wow.
And I told them, don't worry about it. Like I told my platoon sergeant and medic, like, don't worry about it. Like, go save my guys. I had 2 guys yelling for the medic. And in my line of work, I've seen guys die for a lot less injury. So I thought, no way am I going to make this. And I told myself, just stay calm, And I just was seeing the movie Saving Private Ryan in my head over and over. When the medic gets shot in the stomach, and like he begs for his mom, cries out for his life, and ultimately dies. And I told myself from day one of my first deployment, like whatever happens, like we're not gonna have that be how people remember you. So when I got hit, I just stayed calm. I told the medics, don't worry about it. They ignored me. I radioed my lieutenant with my left hand, because I used my thumb and index and middle finger. I said, hey, 6, this is 4. I got guys injured. I need your medic with mine. And he sent over the other medic, Doc Voice, and he worked on the other 2 guys. And then he worked on me, and they got me on a helicopter. They got me to the hospital, went into surgery, and 14 hours of surgery to get me stable, but critical. And I was a triple amputee.
Yeah.
So actually the 12th today, 11 years ago, they took me in for a clean out in Bagram, Afghanistan. They flew me from Kandahar to Bagram, and they realized my skin had died on my hand, so they cut it off. So I actually became a quadruple amputee 11 years ago today.
Yeah, wow.
And then 2 days after that, I made it to Walter Reed. And when I got to Walter Reed, they took me in for emergency surgery. They cut my left leg, had ripped open. They had to cut me a little bit higher. And then I had the 18th, I saw my wife for the first time. I told her she should leave me. There's nothing left for me to offer. And she's like, that's not how this works, At 23 years old with a 6-month-old on her hip, I was offering, take everything we have, money, cars, house, financially, whatever you need, I'll always have for you. But you can go. And she's like, not how this works. So true testament to how amazing she really, really is. And then I started my recovery. I had 19 months of it. I started off with like bandaged up 140 pounds. I lost 110 pounds in that 7 days. And I was hitting a balloon with my little arm with a bandage, doing sit-ups and crunches. And then I progressed to, going down and working out on machines. And then I progressed to like 5 weeks in getting an arm for the first time. And I learned how to, open and close and rotate, so I could feed myself and dress myself and, quite frankly, use the restroom by myself. Things that you take for granted, kind of, when you're an adult. And then, I got to my legs at 7 weeks and 4 days, just shy of 2 months. I was up walking again. Not on these ones. These are the final ones. You had to start short, and 6 months later, I think I got to put my tall legs on. And every day was something new and exciting, but it was also like some days were failure days. My first day I walked, I did 3 laps around the Military Advanced Training Center. The next day I was like, I'm gonna walk 5 laps. And I walked a half a lap. My legs cramped up, I couldn't move, and I fell over. And I turned my workouts into my new job because I was only there to get better. My wife said she's gonna stay, I told her she should leave. My daughter's still my daughter. I gotta be her father, I gotta get better. And they told me I'd be there 3+ years. And I said, that's not gonna happen. So I turned my workouts into my job, my physical and occupational therapy. 4 hours of each a day, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, as much as they would let me. Because the operations of the military advanced training, like the operation hours, it wasn't because they wouldn't let me work out. Just I was there as long as I could be.
Yeah.
And then after 19 months, I was able to retire from the military, and I had a house being built in Maine, but I had to move to Texas, my in-laws, and then Michigan for my parents, and then we moved to Maine in late August and got in our house, and it's been a really good place for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Why Maine?
My wife's from here originally.
Okay.
So I don't do well in the heat. Amputees don't do well in the heat. We always are overheating from our circulation of our blood. So you release heat from your body, head, hands, and feet, which I'm missing 4 of the 5. I have a third of my body capped off with 3 layers. So like to my inner thigh, I have 3 layers on it, which is it's basically like having like wool socks wrapped in rain gear.
Okay.
So it's hot.
Yeah.
They don't sweat or breathe. And then just the fact that my blood circulates faster. So Maine or Michigan was our options. She's from Maine originally, and I thought, let's go by her family. She's been through the ringer. So we moved here, and it's been a great choice for us.
Yeah.
We did a proof of concept for the foundation idea and turned it into this.
Yeah. So you use the word recalibrated a lot. Tell me what that means.
Well, I guess I hated being called a wounded warrior.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything against anybody out there, but I hated the term wounded. I think that had negative connotations. Everybody's, oh, you're one of those wounded guys. And I get why the sympathy and the pity's there and people feel bad, which is understandable. But I'm not wounded anymore, right? My scars is what I have scars. My wounds have healed.
Yeah.
So I figured I just had to recalibrate, had to figure out my new normal and go forward. So I think a lot of times people see like a veteran, like, oh, you're a veteran, what's wrong, right? Automatically they think, well, must have that TBI or post-traumatic stress or whatever. And I just kind of like taking away the negative connotation. So I say recalibrate if anything, but I go by Travis, what's up? And kind of what you see is what you get, right? Like I'm fortunate, I don't have any post-traumatic stress, I don't have any traumatic brain injury, I don't have any lingering issues. So the things I've done overseas didn't follow me home, luckily. And I just think that the beauty is, I can say I'm recalibrated instead of wounded because I'm not wounded anymore.
So for a lot of people, that kind of thing, those experiences do come back with them.
Yeah.
And so how does the Travis Mills Foundation help those kind of people?
Well, we've been fortunate. I do everything on a crawl, walk, run mentality, just like the Army taught me, right? And we started with a proof of concept week for families that were like my family. And it went so well, we did it again the next year. And we decided this has some life. So we bought this property we're sitting in right now in 2015. And we started a 2-year renovation on it. And I'd go around and I'd speak for my personal job, and people would get behind the project as well, and they donate money, and we were able to open the doors here in 2017. But we only catered to physically injured veterans. Mm-hmm. Now, if they had anything wrong with post-traumatic stress, we would do our best to cater to that. But we are non-clinical. And when I was out speaking, people would ask me all the time about post-traumatic stress, and I'd say, hey, look, we don't do anything for that, but there's these 2 programs I really believe in. It's called Home Base out of Massachusetts, and there's Warrior Path program, which is out of Virginia. And I'd promote them, say, hey, go check them out. They're the best around for, combat veterans. Well, Warrior Path program got a grant to expand, and they called us up to ask if we want to host programs here for the post-traumatic stress program. We said, absolutely. So now we are one of the locations throughout the nation for the Warrior Path program, which is for post-traumatic stress. And they call it post-traumatic growth. And we do 12 weeks a year that we dedicate to this program. And it's for first responders as well as combat veterans. Okay. So the family camps family retreats that we do are for the families with physical injuries. And now we've had people graduate the course. So I think we're gonna do 1 week out of our 40 weeks of operation next year, with a path group of families, the people that went through the course and have graduated it and are doing well, that we can bring their families in. So it's kind of neat, evolution of what we do. Like we started out with doing one week out of the year, and now we're trying to get to 40 weeks out of the year with our various programs.
Yeah. So, throughout your recovery process and the Travis Mills Foundation, you've been very vocal with, sharing your story, sharing other veteran stories. Why is that important to you? You know, why do you speak on it? Why do you make documentaries about it?
People ask me to. No. You know, I'm okay with what happened to me. I really have accepted it, and I can move on and get through it, and I can understand it's one bad day at work. And I tell people always, you know, the 2 life lessons that I've learned is don't dwell on the past, just reminisce it. And I don't dwell on what happened to me because it fixes nothing. I can't change the past, so I just reminisce what I had. And, you know, I've had 11 years now that have been pretty incredible after my injury. And I tell people they can't always control your situation, but you can always control your attitude. And attitude is everything. So if someone's going through a hard time, I just try to, you know, let them know, like, hey, life's going to go on. Let's make the best out of it. And you can control your attitude, even though your situation might not be what you want it to be. And I'm fortunate where, yes, I'm a military guy. Yeah, I got blown up. And I do have a lot of people that are military that like reach out or look up to kind of my recovery and how I did it or how my attitude or demeanor is. But I also have people that have been through cancer or car accidents or anxiety problems or just a whole, you know, wide variety of issues. And my story has helped them. And that's the one thing that I'm very thankful for, is that I'm not just put in a category of like, oh, for military people going through a hard time, look at Travis Mills. Like, I have a lot of people that, you know, find inspiration from me. And I think if I can get back and do something positive, I will. And I'm grateful that, you know, people believe in me so much because I'm just me living my life. And I think my personality is an open one that, you know, people can gravitate towards, and if I can help somebody, I do. You know, I had a rough day at the office, and people stepped up to help me, so I make the best I can out of the situation. And it's not lost on me the guys that didn't make it back home either. A lot of my friends left behind spouses and kids and family, and they didn't have the ability, you know, to watch their kids grow. I take my daughter, like tonight, she has gymnastics. You know, my son goes karate. Yeah. My wife and I, 15 years of marriage. You know, this year, and I had the ability to still be here for all that stuff. Yeah. Whereas I almost didn't, you know, and it doesn't bother me. I don't mind talking about stuff. It don't matter.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the people along the way. You mentioned your son, your daughter, your wife, you know, your in-laws, your parents. You know, what does that mean to you to have them behind you the whole way?
Well, I think support is everything, right? I've been blessed with a great support group. You know, my whole life. My parents were always there, my grandparents. I got injured. My dad got so dehydrated, he actually had diverticulitis. He had to go into emergency surgery. He was like 4 rooms down. And they had to put like a colostomy bag in for a little while. So he'd like walk down with his pick pole and hang out with me and stuff. But, you know, having them by my side and you know, go through all this stuff is amazing. And then my wife and, you know, my daughter was there the whole time. So I got to work out with my daughter, learn how to walk with my daughter. Not a lot of dads can say that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I ran when my daughter was starting to run and all that stuff. And my father-in-law moved in with us for 14 months while we were at Walter Reed to help his daughter out. And then also, you know, hopefully to help me out. No, we became really close. And now he's my business manager. We spent a lot of time together. Yeah. And he's out here somewhere today.
Nice.
But he's my neighbor at my house. So I see him, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I guess I have a strong support group. I know how crucial that is. So the foundation's here for people that have a strong support group, or maybe they don't have a strong support group. They just, you know, we're just here to let people know that we're here for them, and we'll do everything we can to help better their lives, you know, within our abilities, and to just keep pushing forward.
Yeah. So you got a great support group here at the foundation. You got over 20 full-time employees, several hundred volunteers that help throughout the year on various events. Tell me about what the foundation is. Let's start at the ground level. What is it? What is it for?
So ground level, just nitty gritty, we decided that we wanted to bring families out that have been through physical injuries due to service, like mine, and show them that they can live life to the fullest. And I was fortunate to actually take a therapist from Walter Reed and have her be the program manager for our programs out here. Now she's the vice president of programs, and you know her title keeps going up, and she's fantastic. But she adapts everything. We had a guy our first year missing both legs and one arm, triple amputee, and it was burned up real bad, so his other arm's kind of, you know, burned. And we were doing archery, and he goes, I can't do that. We said, no, you can. And we found a way for him to do it, to where now it's like one of his favorite activities. He goes outside every day and shoots, and he's part of the Paralympian team, and things like that. But it was important because my recovery process, make no mistake about it, I was going through it, but my wife and my daughter were as well. And the families that we hung out with, you know, were going through the same thing. So our friends the Wetzels, the Smiths, the Morrises and Mulleys and these and Reichenbachs, all these families were going through it with us, right? So like they had kids, they had injuries, and we all hung out like every day. My wife still is on a group text with all the wives, and I just believe there's strength in numbers and understanding that you're not the only one alone. So when we have a kid come out here that runs past another family and goes, "Oh my gosh, like you're missing 2 legs like my dad, or you're missing an arm like my mom, or you're in a wheelchair, or you whatever." It's like they see someone that they don't normally see that's like their parents. We've had spouses sitting in this room and talk about how after 4 days here, towards the end of the trip, that this is the first time they saw like their the service member that in particular this lady was talking about her husband, said, "This is the first time I see my husband act like the guy he was before he deployed. Like that's the man I married." Yeah. You're like, "Oh man, that's really cool." And then you're like, "Oh wow, that was 4 years ago." So he hasn't felt comfortable enough, to act like himself. So this place is barrier free. No matter what your injuries are, you'll be able to get around in every single room, do every single activity. We'll make it work and allow you to feel comfortable trying new things, because if you try it and you fail, you're not failing with able-bodied people. You're failing with people that are just like you, that understand the struggle and know what your life is and what you go through. So they're more apt to try and more, confident that, they can do something, or maybe they're just more comfortable, with trying it. So that's what this building was for and is for. Elizabeth Arden, she was a cosmetic pioneer. She built it in 1929, and she used to have like spas, first person to ever have spas. And, it's cool because we're kind of doing the same thing, having retreat weeks for these families and stuff like that. So we're kind of keeping the history. That's why we have the Red Door, because it was a Red Door. She started the Red Door spas, which are all over, New York and other places. And I guess that's in a nutshell what we do. Yeah. Build confidence and strength with people.
Do you have goals for the future for Travis Mills Foundation? What's that look like?
Well, we have a few more buildings we have to build. But, in 5 years, can I see another facility somewhere else in the nation? Probably, depending on the need. The need is great. We're very thankful that we made it through COVID, that we have a mission people get behind and support. And, the truth is, not that I want to monopolize anything, but a lot of the veteran nonprofits are going away because, their mission is, because the wars are the wars is dwindling down. Their mission's not necessarily on the forefront. So, they're finding new ways to give back and support. But, as we grow and as we expand, we might, build 1 or 2 more of these facilities around the nation in the next 5 to 10 years.
As we're wrapping up here, how can people get involved? How can they support you and the foundation?
There's many ways. There's, you go on the website, travismillsfoundation.org. You can find out what we got going on, and you can click to donate, right? Everything here is off donations. You can sign up to be a volunteer. Even if you live far away, you can come in, and people stay at hotels. We have like different rates we get, and they stay at hotels. And the last thing is, you can just be our town crier. Maybe you don't have anything that you can give financially. Maybe you can't even give your time. But you can tell people about us that have the ability to give, either of the two. So if people watching this want to just talk about what we do and suggest us for, places to give to or places to volunteer at, that's great too. We're not really picky. We appreciate everyone's support and everyone's help. And I'm not very good at raising money, to be honest with you. I don't like asking for it, but I know it's how we operate here. So those are kind of the ways I tell people if they want to get involved. The best thing they can do is, do it this way.
Is there anything that you'd like to share, on a personal side or from the foundation side?
Well, I really appreciate Sheffield Metals for all that they have done for the foundation to help us out. I mean, that roof out there is gorgeous. But also, that's what this place takes. It takes people stepping up and believing in us. And I guess, for me, I want everybody to know, like, I don't do it alone. I'm not arrogant enough to believe that everything out here is because of me. And I'm hopefully humble enough that you guys believe when I say, like, without the staff and the volunteers and the donors, this place doesn't exist. I mean, I'm one person with one story, but what we get to do out here is just, truly tremendous, and we're grateful to be able to do it. But, I give all the high honors and praise to the amazing staff members that I have, and all the volunteers that we have, and the donors that step up to the plate and go to bat for us to champion our mission forward. So, thanks to them, I'm literally just one person with a wife that obviously is the better part of the two of us.
Yeah, I mean, everybody we met here is top notch, and we appreciate you taking the time and sitting down with me and talking a little bit, and letting us into your beautiful area here.
Yeah, sorry I was hunched over, by the way. I just realized I probably look like a hunch. I got to work on that, But no, absolutely, and I know we're gonna do a tour and check this whole place out. So hopefully I didn't say anything dumb, and check out my cool tricks. What? Doesn't even hurt. First time it did when it fell out, but now it don't.
Nice.